Taking it. Oh,
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Nooners of Ice and Fire, Free Folk Freestyle Friday. And I didn't stutter, I got it out right. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. The newest episode of Game of Thrones is upcoming. I can't wait. How about you? 95% of the cast is about to be dead. I hope you're excited about it. With that, let me introduce my co host, MackenzieLBurns, aka Sasa. How's it going?
uh, doing pretty well, Johnny. I think it may be less than 95%, but a large chunk. And we may have the Dragon Queen herself escape Winterfell on Dragonback, leaving everybody else in the dust. But yeah, that's not really kind of what we're here to talk about today, although we'll touch on some stuff probably for Sunday. But yeah, we just kind of more of a free flow chat, um, like the the title kind of says, just no rules, just and no limitations. But yeah, how are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm pretty excited. We're getting to one of probably the most exciting episodes we're going to see, and maybe the most devastating. If Brienne getting knighted didn't make you cry, I'm sure her dying this week will. No, that's us assuming. She is set up for her arc to be complete, but she could live, you know, possibly. But everything points to Brienne going down in
Yeah,
a
it's wrong.
blaze of gore, a blaze of Summerhall glory. With that, let me say hello to
Mm-hmm.
everyone in the chat. Forrest Blurta, how are you doing? Dornish Dan, what is going on? How is it going, my friend? The Fearless Mermaid, aka, she says, boo. Katrin C from my point of view. Steve York, did I say just wondering? Because that is maybe Julianne? I think that's Julianne. She's trying to be sneaky. Fake Aria, how is it going? Go hit up Bravosi Broadcast for sure. Danny McKay, what is up, my man? Reese, oh, what's good, bro? What's good? Bubba Husky, how is it going, man? Are you doing good? You about to go to sleep? How's them UPS packages coming? You doing like Ace Ventura? I hope you are. You're my hero, Bubba Husky. Um, the Imagination Realm. We're going to have an extended segment from the Imagination Realm. I'm going to read her little blog on how she came to be, how she blossomed and flourished into an awesome blogger and many other things that I can't find adjectives for right now because, brain scramble. So, with that, Clarissa Thompson. Who else do we have in here? Did I say the Fearless Mermaid? I have to say it again if I did. Help me out, mute button.
Blue Rooster,
Blue Rooster, what is up?
Carrie Neves. Let's
Gary
see.
Neves.
But Dornish Dan has a serious question of how many Kleenex boxes will the average viewer go through before episode 3 ends?
Uh, it depends if you get those really good ones with the lotion. Then they get stuck all over your face when you're trying to blow your nose and wipe your tears. Cindy Sammy. Girl Nettles, how's it going? How's it going? Oh, Julianne89, there you are, making me confused as ever.
Tina
Tina
Sarah.
Sarah, what is going on? Awesome chat, my friend. So
Mm-hmm.
bring the questions in. We'll try to answer them. That's for sure. All
I already
right.
bought my tissues. That's fine. From Cindy Sammy.
So Sasa, I know we were talking a little bit about Jenny of Old Stones,
Mm-hmm.
and Old Stones is well, basically a decrepit old place that Catelyn is no, that Arya is in the books that she goes through with Beric Dondarrion. If I think no, Catelyn goes through there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Anyways,
Yeah, it's
I'll
Kylan.
let you go with it.
So, if you haven't read up on Jenny of Oldstones or you need a refresher, Jenny of Oldstones was the wife of Duncan Targaryen, also known as the Prince of Dragonflies. So, there may be some clues there coming into the final episodes. There's many songs written about her, including Jenny's song, which the Ghost of My Heart always wants to hear. So, basically, Jenny was a descendant of the first men. They ruled the castle called Oldstones, which, if a shout out to Chrissy of Oldstones for her username here with us. But she was married to Duncan Targaryen, and She married him against her father's or his father's wishes, Aegon the Fifth, breaking his betrothal to the daughter of Lionel Baratheon of Storm's End. So, and yeah, so with uh, with this, like,
Ju
basically gave up the claim to the Iron Throne and gave it to Jaehaerys, who became the
for
Prince
their
of
love,
Dragons.
right? And she was thought to be a little too common, but she won over anyone who met her for the most part. They were enamored by her, and she had a woods witch that followed her everywhere she goes. Some people think that the Woods Witch or the Ghost of High Heart and Jenny of Old Stones are the same person. I could see that, but I don't remember. Is Jenny ever described with red eyes? And I think that would be one of the most notable things about a person. And I don't know if we've heard of anyone's eyes necessarily changing red. Um, but
Don't
I could be
think so.
wrong about that.
I
Usually
think
that's.
I think if George has ever changed an eye color, it's because he forgot what a certain character's eye color was. So if it was like blue in one book, it made it brown in the other, or switched it. Like that's the only time. It's never been a that much of a significant change, like a quote unquote normal eye color to one of like red.
Hmm. And it's
So
a beautiful love story too. You know, is hmm makes you wonder if Jamie is playing the role of um, Duncan Targaryen, the Lord of Dragonflies here. Hey, in a sense, they're not gonna mirror each other perfectly, but they're
yeah.
playing off of that, given last episode.
Also, Stanza for the first for a lot of the, I think up until kind of the fourth season, she was always noticeably wearing dragonflies on her costume in
Mm.
some sort of way, whether it was on her necklace, like in the tourney of the Hound's tourney, or like as a kind of brooch thing on her dress. I don't know if she really wears them anymore,
I was
or if it's
wondering why
hidden,
she wore that. That's
or if
a
it's kind of
good catch.
hidden where it's kind of hidden. So if you're watching, like I know that they kind of show up because I watch a lot of tribute videos and like, oh, you could say music videos or whatever, and plus on Twitter, a lot of people are equating Santa to be the next sort of Jenny of Oldstones, with Winterfell being either Harrenhal or Oldstones itself, considering who kind of who Jenny loses in the tragedy of Summerhall being Aegon and Dunk. You could say that could be John and maybe Theon, eventually losing both John and Theon at some point. And because according to the song, she danced with the ghosts in the halls of kings, meaning she loses John and Theon, and she is somewhere in the Red Keep, maybe. And if she has to
Mm.
rule King's
Can
Landing.
and the Ghost of High Heart, they just made me think of something here in the chat. Y'all are pretty awesome. But, Fake Artie was talking about Quinn, Ideas of Ice and Fire's theory that Jenny is the Ghost of High Heart's daughter. Now, there's a few ways that this can play out, right? She has red eyes. We have the Weirdwood stump. She's connected to the old gods. So she can, in a sense, like Bran, absorb those memories. That's what it feels like to me. Or Blood Raven, absorb the memories of what's around her. I don't know if she is exactly like Blood Raven, but I could see someone that's that sensitive absorbs those memories, and then that would make me think that there is a chance that it could definitely be the daughter, or it may just be as simple as it's just the Woods Witch.
Mm-hmm.
That her and Jenny of Oldstones were really, really good friends. She took her everywhere. Seemingly, that was her right hand magi,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, because It's hard to say because there's so much different clues, but yeah, it's Twitter that is equating Santa to Jenny of Oldstones in the fact that especially with the lines that we've now gotten from the song, she never wanted to leave, she danced with the ghosts, and so on and so forth. That she like knew the ones that she had lost, the ones that she had found, and the ones she got back again, or something like that. I just briefly listened to the song again today, but
Mm. You
depending on
know,
what you
that's,
think about
oh,
it.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just how you look at it because you can say Danny could be kind of Jenny of Oldstone, but it's not lose like she didn't really find
Well,
Viserys
what if
and all this
she
stuff.
is Aegon the Fifth?
Mm-hmm.
And her actions lead to her demise. And that's what we're led to believe. It seems more that the Maesters probably mucked that up. But, we're going with the show and a generalistic reason. Like Septuagint Secrets, I see Dany as more of a Jenny for some reason, like you were saying. And yeah, that made me think of her possibly being Egg. But then you have the literal Jon Snow, Aegon. You could put that on a few people. But you would have to go with Duncan as Brienne. And then who else do you have that died in that fire?
You have Duncan, Aegon. The notable deaths were Aegon the Fifth, Duncan Targaryen, and Duncan the Tall, the commander of the King's Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. The
Hmm.
known survivors is Rhaella Targaryen, Rhaegar Targaryen, as he was born there, Maester Gildain, and a wood witch dear to Jenny of Oldstones. Barristan Selmy believes she died. However, her description matches the ghost of Highheart, who speaks of gored on grief at Summerhall and mentions my Jenny with grief. So,
So we have three. Yeah, definitely it's been believed they're going to die by fire in some way. And we did see a lot of shots of people burned to death at the outside of Winterfell,
there's like a
and
bunch
some
of orange.
horrible leaks that I stay away from completely now. Katrina Torres, what is going on? Thank you. Glad you can make it out. Um, I don't know. We'll circle back to that
Mm-hmm.
in a second. We got some hashtag Team Braun talk here. What's up, Nikolai? How you doing, my man? Okay, so Braun, do you think we're gonna see him next episode? I kind of think we do. We saw
Yes.
Jamie screaming Braun, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. Is he gonna take this opportunity to kill Danny? Given what he's really worried about these dragons. And I could see a bolt situation where John, is regretting
Mm.
pushing Danny away, and it's just like mirroring the egret, and she possibly dies in his arms. But as Bubba Husky said, you have a one-eyed free life running around there in Beric Dondarrion, and he could really give it to anyone. The more I think about him giving it to the Hound, it's possible. Then he could give it to Arya, and it
It
would
would,
be a stretch for him to give it to Danny, given they haven't had any type of interaction, right?
yeah. It's it's hard to say, but it would be poetic as a mirroring if Beric was to give Arya his life for her, because in some way it's her kind of crossing his name off the list, even though she's taken him off the list. It's the crossing of the name off the list by metaphorically killing him, as well as him dying by that whole thing. So like yes and no. Braun coming back, I assume he's gonna either go for Daenerys, like we're thinking of, or he's gonna maybe go for somebody that not I don't it's hard to say because based off of the preview and then based off of the clips that we get from the episode or the season trailer, we see in the preview we see Jamie, Brienne, and a whole bunch of people in the left flank, I believe that's what it's called. But then if you go up and rewatch the season trailer, you see Jamie and yelling for either Braun, and then it flashes to Brienne with a whole bunch of like orange in the sky. So they must retreat back into Winterfell for that to happen. Because everybody based off of the last episode was in the positions because the three horns were blowing. Danny left, Jon was standing next to Tyrion.
And I just had a thought, and I do think they could retreat back. I honestly think they may. We never got any details about the plan, really. They didn't have an escape strategy, so I don't really like that. But what if the Night King gets beaten back but doesn't get defeated, and he's the one that retreats and goes to King's Landing to regain an army? I could see something of that nature being insanely crazy. What's going on, Shadowcat Beagle? I think that's right.
Yeah. I think both the Night King may retreat, and then we may because I've been having this thought pretty much since.
And Nikolai Jerkin, this is actually goes to your question. Does Viserion and Rhaegal fight and both die? I don't know. I do think all the dragons but one will die. One will be crippled, possibly just the wing and can't fly. A lot like Sunfire was. Aegon II Sunfire was, and that would be a little hard to see, right? The only dragon left alive, crippled, but still a dragon. It goes back to the cripples, bastards, and broken things. Because if Danny is dead, then you have a bastard dragon, basically. And yeah, Nikolai, this is kind of addressing your question. Because yeah, we don't see them, and the Night King could be holding back, right? I think he's a lot smarter than they're giving him credit for. He seems to have a strategy. I would take all those people and beat at them, and then I wouldn't bring my dragon in until I needed to. You don't want to lose the thing.
Yeah, because we see someone looks like Danny trying to climb on top of Drogon. Whether it's because it's the snow which has shown up, or it's a bunch of ash. So I can see maybe her wanting to escape and maybe flying after the Night King to try and get him, in a sense. Because we have, yes, John and I have talked about this off stream, but there's that shot in the preview. I can't remember if it's Together or it's Survival, but it's Danny standing in front of a fireplace.
Uh-oh. I think she may have froze. Or it might.
That. Oh. We haven't gotten a shot like that, so it's safe to assume that they go to Dragonstone. And the fact that in the trailer, in the preview, she turns to Jon and it says, "The dead are already here." So, and Winterfell's kind of lit up. So I could assume that she thinks that this is she's lost a considerable amount of people and considers this a lost cause. And it's like, let's just get the heck out, or I'll just get the heck out. You do what you have to do, because Jon and Danny will obviously be separated for this battle. Jon's hair and the way that his look changes from the last episode until in the scenes of the preview makes me think that a lot of stuff has happened since then. So, and we only see Danny talking to Jon and then climbing on top of Drogon and getting the heck out, or seemingly getting the heck out. So, and plus she's just found out that Jon is the last Targaryen male heir. So if she can kind of get rid of him in a sense, even though she loves him, that just proved Mad Queen status. But hey,
Dornish Dan, Brienne turns into a white, then kills Pod. Holy smokes, man!
Oh no. But there's that
man,
question
Pod
that
could not be a white Brienne either. He's acting all suave, Let me see really quick.
Hey, Miss Crona.
Miss Crona, how are you doing? Happy Friday. We get into Metal's question. They said the next episode will have something as shocking as the Red Wedding. What do you guys think would be that shocking? Well, Let me see. Someone put a good point in here. Oh, it's Dorn. No, it's not Dorn. Dornistan. I just did that one. Hold on. There's a good comment.
Girl
Anyways,
Nettles,
they
her own
said it would
comment.
be Steve York. Of course, it's Steve York. Danny killing John, Tyrion killing Bran, and Jon killing. That would be super shocking. But I can see John even killing Danny if he thinks she's gonna burn Sansa at some point. But
Hmm.
and how long is this battle gonna last? Because it's gonna start at the beginning of the episode, and we have what? How
It's
long's the
either
episode?
83 minutes, but I think D&D will play with us and they'll just make us go to Cersei and then come back. Like, I really do think that that may be a thing where they, like, draw out the tension to sitting us, making us claw and
Well,
uh,
this isn't. I
bite our
don't think the Night
nails.
King's gonna. The more I think about it, I don't think the Night King's gonna fall here. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have a huge battle, and the Night
They,
King's gonna
yeah.
cut bait and run with this dragon. That's all he needs, because he can raise as many dead as he
Hmm.
has to. So he
Hmm.
can go. You know, I don't think they set the million people for the Night King's army for no reason. Uh, this goes to fake Arya thinks this may happen too. It makes more sense for the Night King to go get uh, an army, and right there you would think that Craster's sons would be enough to take care of them. Like the
Hmm.
three dragons were nothing. The Night King just had a javelin and he killed one dragon. Claire Gray, what is going on? Um,
Yeah. Something more shocking than the Red Wedding.
yeah, Girl Nettles thinks Arya will kill Danny. I mean, that
Danny
would
has
have to
drove.
come with Danny. I think Danny's gonna try to kill Sansa, and like when me and you talked about,
There's a.
it'll be Alice Karstark who gets killed from behind. Danny thinking it's Sansa, because if Sansa's out and about and she's not just hiding, because I think she will come out to
She
check
is.
on things.
Yeah. There's. Oh,
Um,
sorry.
I do think Danny during the middle of chaos may take Sansa out and just say it was the war. Um, Danny does have a problem with that. There's a ensuing cat fight between the two, which I can't wait to see how it plays out. So I hope they both don't die separately, because I
The,
think their fate is intertwined, Sansa and Danny, and I think they're playing on everyone's Sansa love and
hate.
hate and everyone's Danny love and hate, because it's such a divisive topic that I love talking about, and the
Yeah.
chat goes insane. I will copy and paste some of these questions. Go ahead, Sasa.
Yes. That well, cause if we'll probably bring them up, but there was some pictures that HBO had come out with for episode 3, and there's a specific picture of Sansa sitting somewhere, and she's crying or has tears welling up in her eyes, and there's someone seemingly behind her, um, in there. So it's either news that someone has died or something has happened. Because we also do see on the wall, um, in the preview, that it's Sansa and Arya having a conversation, and I think it's like something along the lines of we have to face the reality of what this is, or something like that. Uh, and Sansa, I can totally see them having her kidnapped or having Alice Karstark be taken out, and just saying it's Sansa, um, because the two kind of look alike. I've said this on multiple streams, that they look alike, and that there was that thought process, a while back, that they'd be confused for one another. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think my most shocking thing that may happen is not just the amount of
Varys?
character.
Will Varys kill Danny? Didn't Drogon kill Varys? Holy
Mm,
smokes, Miss Cronall, your question. I love it. And that's what made me think of that. Could
yeah,
Varys kill Danny for the realm? When does he find out about John? Does Bran creepily tell him in a way where, hey, this is the midst of battle. Go ahead and kill Danny? There's nothing anyone can do about it. And Varys already knows he has to die. If he knows he has to die to put the right Targaryen, I'm going to do this in quotes, the right Targaryen on the throne in his mind, then I think he will take those desperate actions. That would be, well, some kind of plot arc for Varys this season, because we've seen nothing from him and Tyrion, honestly.
Have we seen Varys like out besides the first episode have speak at all? Like the very
A
first
little
scene?
bit, but nothing that I can even this memorable. You know, he walked with Tyrion a little bit, and then he had the ride with Tyrion in the I can't even the wheelhouse. What's
No.
up, Phantom Saint? Brook Bastards and Broken Things. I love that name. What is going on? I hope
I think
everybody's
Claire Gray
having a
was also
fantastic.
here
Oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Claire Gray, the Oracle, and Samid San. How is it going, everyone? Goodness
Yeah.
gracious, fantastic chat. Much love, my friends.
Yeah.
Keep them questions coming. I'm trying to paste them in the side chat here. We'll get to them.
The most shocking thing though will be A, the amount of deaths that we're getting, but B, what is Arya actually afraid of? What is she possibly running from besides a whited Gendry
Rickon, or
or
just
Rickon?
well, I mean,
What is she
honestly,
afraid of at this point? Because
so Needle
she's
shatters over the one of the other's blades, and I don't know that. I think another can freak her out. The way Gendry talked them up, the way she was set up there. I know, in my opinion, Arya shouldn't be scared of this, but I think an actual other, or I'm sorry, I read the books too much. One of
white
Castor's sons, a white, they're White Walkers, right?
walkers. Yeah, the white
White
walkers.
Walkers. I think, and Nikolai could be the Night King. You know, we could see that, but I think he's going to be drawn more to Bran, and you have like 90 of Craster's sons just sitting there, so one of them are bound to get to Arya at this point, and I think maybe they killed the Hound. You know, he watched the Hound. She watched the Hound get the hell killed out of him. You have Barrack bring the Hound back, I guess, because what the hell is Barrack going to be used for? Now, I also see a scenario where Barrack brings back Arya, but we're assuming that Barrack's going to bring anyone back. I could see the Hound bringing back Arya, and I'm going to make a video on this. Hopefully, I get it out in time before this happens, or it can be shot down. But it goes back to Thoros and why Barrack was brought back. Thoros never believed. He just said the words, and he loved Barrack. The Hound doesn't really believe. But what's he going to do when Arya, the only person he's ever truly fought for non-selfish reasons, what's he going to do if she dies in front of him? He's going to say those words, or he's going to beg Barrack to help him. You know, I see Arya being brought back more than anyone else.
What if that's an interesting question, Katrin Torres. Will they go after Arya because of her skills? Because the Faceless Men seemingly aren't back yet. Would the White Walkers try to recruit Arya to be like, come on, you can become a White Walker. You don't have to become a white. You can just become a White Walker and just do something like that. But yes, Johnny, your point about the Hounds and Arya and Beric is very apropos. Because why not? The Hound, especially if we are, like we have been saying for a while, the Hound becoming another person for, or another representation of the Lord of Light, or a person who preaches for the Lord of Light. Sorry, because we only have really Beric and the Brotherhood Without Banners, but the Brotherhood Without Banners is usually just made out of red shirts beside Beric and kind of the Hound. So once they're all wiped away, they'll need to have somebody besides Beric to kind of carry on the Lord of Light lore religion, especially if Mel shows up and Mel dies this episode, for sake of argument.
Well, the burned man, the broken man, he's set up for it, right? He's already been touched by the Lord of Light at a young age. This is the first thing that kind of Barrack, or this is the first thing they say about him, that they think he's been punished, but maybe he's been groomed for this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of training uh, is nothing but punishment. A lot of sacrifice. Anything good, anything worthwhile, takes pain and sacrifice to get to. So I think that's an
Ooh.
exacerbated version. Oh, go ahead.
Clarissa kind of brought up a interesting thing. Like it just is more of a statement, but it says shit. Mel said that she would see Arya again. What if Mel has to bring Arya back? What if Mel shows up and she's the one that brings Arya back?
The way she does it isn't as fast as the way Thoros did. She had to do this whole
Well, that was just to draw
spiel.
us out for the audience.
I know, but I don't think Mel's gonna bring anyone back. I think that was a one-trick pony there. Um, and you can equate that more to maybe even Davos and Ghost, their energy, because
There's some new
she didn't
people.
really care. You know, she was just going through the motions. And Bubba Husky made the point she had lost her faith as well. Um,
Chris
and
Taylor and Daisy Kowalski are in the chat who joined us.
awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome. Boop. The fiery hand. That would be awesome if they showed up. I mean, it's 1,000 of the Lord of Lights warriors with flames tattooed on their faces, and these crazy little staffs, and just, you know, very mysterious. Makoro as a very intriguing character in the books. You know, how he fixes the hand of Victorion. You could say he just burned it, but it seems a little more than that. Um, yeah, what other questions do we have here? Go ahead.
Fandom D says if Arya dies, is bringing her back because Mel said she will see Arya again.
That's a good point, Fandom Descent. I just don't. I see it more of in a rush, the same way we saw Beric get brought back by Thoros. I don't think they're gonna have time unless we have this after scene, right, where Arya's laying on a slab, and then John. Yeah, here we go. John can see. I'm telling you, I can poke holes in my own theories and come up with new ones. Just like Mel, John. You know, if Mel gets there, and I could see her getting there, locking eyes with John right after the battle's over. You know, and I don't think Mel not being there makes me think the Night King's going to be a threat later. That this isn't the last battle, and I hope not. And I think that he will beg her to do the same thing you did for me. Even the Hound may beg her at this point, but you know, why hasn't anyone? Steve York says that trying to be crazy. Why hasn't anyone tried to pee on Bran's arm yet? That shit works with jellyfish. Yeah, yeah, that ammonia neutralizes the toxins, but I don't know if it works on the Night King toxins. That is hilarious, though. Um, Yeah, that's a good point, Chris Taylor. Where the hell are the red priests that Kimbara calls her savior? I know, right? It seems a little underwhelming, but I have this theory that we will see the red priests next episode in the streets of King's Landing preaching, getting the people to rise up against Cersei. That's one of my tinfoil theories. Well, it'll mirror the storming of the dragon pit when the prophet, I can't remember his name right now. It's a crazy one-armed man. Just preached these people into a fervor, and they stormed the dragon pit and killed all the dragons. So I could see her. You know, we've seen spots of the red priestesses preaching, and even red priest at one point in time preaching, getting the people in an uproar. And Tyrion kept taking note of this. I think that they did that for a reason. That you know, you have all these people in King's Landing. Danny burned all the food. You know, they're on rations. I'm not saying they're starving yet, but poor people are already starving. Even if times are pretty good, they're still starving. So you're gonna see some rising up of the population of King's Landing, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's just, yeah, the ghost, not the ghost, the fiery hand is. Well, we haven't seen Mel, unless you believe that the little girl that talks to Davos is Mel. But where's the glamour? They even made they made that mistake once. They're not gonna make it again with having Mel without her glamour.
Yeah, Girl Nettles, you want me to read that passage? I actually have
Yeah,
that passage open from the books.
yeah.
um,
Go ahead. I was
the
gonna bring
dwarf.
that up.
Let's see. Cold fingers walked down Arya's neck. Fear cuts deeper than swords, she reminded herself. She stood and approached the fire warily, light on the balls of her feet, poised to flee. The dwarf woman studied her with dim red eyes. I see you, she whispered. I see you, wolf child, blood child. I thought it was the Lord who smelled of death. She began to sob, her little body shaking. You are cruel to come to my hill, cruel. I gorged on grief at Summerhall. I need none of yours. Be gone from here, dark heart. Be gone. There was such fear in her voice that Arya took a step backward, wondering if the woman was mad. Don't frighten the child, Thoros protested. There's no harm in her. Lemoncloak's fingers went to his broken nose. Don't be so bloody sure of that. And then basically he goes on to reassure her that Arya will be leaving on the morrow. And, she goes and talks to Gendry and all that crap after this. But this is a really cool, the dark heart, right? And the icy fingers running down the back of her neck. And this goes back to Arya being found with a needle frozen in her hands, right? I can't remember exactly how it
Yeah,
goes.
John.
What John said.
How when the snows melt, so, like she would die in winter, and when the snows melt away in spring, that her body would be revealed with needle clutching in her hand, or something like that. It's along those lines. I can't remember where it was exactly, but it's something like that.
Deborah Breedlove, that's true. George is trying to tell us that humans are the worst and that every other living thing, and that to every other living thing, we need to be destroyed. We're just rooting for humans because we are human. Yeah, that is a great point. I'm not necessarily rooting for the humans, but leave Arya out of this.
Katrin's
Hey, come
asking.
on, it's my favorite character of the imagination realm. I just don't have these delusions of grandeur. I'm joking. To Mary Magdalene, what's up? Arya's supposed to close blue eyes, according. I think she
Brown eyes,
could.
green eyes, blue eyes. Yep.
Males in the book are red, but this is a show prophecy here, and Mel's eyes are blue in the show, if I'm not mistaken. And Mel has got to die in this place, and Mel's. We've had Gendry already talk about what happened with the Red Woman. Uh, I think she could kill her. I mean, she said she was gonna kill her, and I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say that. It's hard to say if she's
It's
gonna
hard
kill
to
her or
say
not.
because
But Mel does have blue eyes, and I think Arya could do it.
it's hard to say about Mel and especially Arya, because Arya has both now Gendry back and Jon came back because of Mel. So she's kind of crossed off a lot of people off of her list. The Hound, Beric Dondarrion. She probably would have crossed off Thoros of Myr's name off the list too. So is Arya kind of waiting to see if she has to cross off Mel's list?
I was thinking that, girl Metals. I was thinking that because she was like, "How many have you slept with?" And blah blah blah. She did seem like
It's
she
not
was
really like a
slightly
turn on
jelly.
thing that you talk about right before you get down with it. And then she's also like, "I'm not the Red Woman. Take your own bloody pants off." It's like, what? FandomD saying thinks that Mel is off Arya's list.
She doesn't have a reason to hold a grudge against her, but I could see her seeing Mel as a dangerous threat to her brother, to Gendry, to anyone with King's blood, because this was mentioned. She did the leeches on me, and I would have died. She would have killed me if not. And why? Why did she have so much interest in you? Because I'm Robert Baratheon's bastard, and I think that's a key right there. And that could be the reason that Mel gets killed by Arya. Doesn't mean that Mel is on the list, but Arya doesn't have to kill people that are on her list. We've seen her kill just plenty of other people. It's a good point, Phantom Descent.
Yeah, she's killed the whole bunch of people.
Let's see. Does anyone think we'll see white versions of dead characters? Oh yeah, Hodor's coming back for sure. I think that would be, and I don't know, would that have an impact on Bran like we think it needs to, right?
I think on other characters it would, more or less, because if Bran's going to be tapped more or less into the Weirwood realm,
Theon may freak out.
Yeah, because he
Hodor versus Theon. Oh man, the battle of
maybe
the
that's
century.
maybe that's why Theon has a flaming arrow. It's not because it's a white or a White Walker, but it's like Hodor maybe. Um,
Yeah, I think we could see, Rickon. For some reason, they didn't burn him like idiots. I think we'll see a white Rickon possibly. Ned's in the show. Did his bones make it there in the show? In the book, that it doesn't
I
seem they
think
didn't make it in the book, but the show it seems like Ned's
I think
bones did
Catelyn
make it.
sent a few people or a few soldiers with Ned's bones, but there's never been like a scene where um, they were ever put in the crypts. Like the only person's bones that I think that could rise besides Rickon, which would just be a full body with just a bunch of flesh falling off, is Lyanna's, because they focus a lot on Lyanna's statue. This is it'll be sad as hell, but it'll be Lyanna showing up.
Sorry,
It's
people are
okay.
getting mad at me.
They've been yelling at you to bring when you're talking about bringing Hodor back. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, Ned's bones I think were brought. Yeah, like in the show, Peter brings them to Kat. I remember that, but I don't remember if she sends them anywhere. I think she does, because I remember in that episode, she just closes the thing and then I think she sends them away. But it's never been confirmed if Winterfell received them um, and like put them
Yeah,
in
so
its
they
burial.
came back. They're definitely there in the show. And Roose Bolton's, uh, they ended up bringing them back. They got there late though, didn't they, Clarissa? Like way late.
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, in the show, regardless, in the show, they're back there, so we could see a skeletal Ned. We will see skeletons rise up from the crypt because they got to make them dumb enough not to get rid of the bodies. And Andy Burnett, sorry about that, man. Thanks for lurking though, bro. Dornish Dan thinks Bran will be doing some warging. He better, but I do think he could go to another plane. The same place he got touched by the Night King. He can walk in that realm if there's something he can do. Seemingly, if the Night King can touch Bran, he can touch the Night King. This goes back. JR Geek Chat 1 thinks this is going to possibly happen with a little Weirwood net battle. I think it's going to be a little different. But we all have our opinions, and shit, I'm wrong 95% of the time, so it doesn't matter to me. I do think we will see him try to warg. Who was that? Was that Bubba Husky? Someone the other day. Theon's so broken, possibly. John St. Baptiste doesn't like that, though, because he says Theon's not broken.
I can't
What if
remember.
Bran wargs Theon? Could he warg Theon at a point? Or, yeah, I mean, I
Make
know
Theon,
that's tinfoil, but
and then it was like the other part of it was like to make Theon the three-eyed raven because it's the last. He is one of the last people around to become a three-eyed raven. Because it'll be Theon and a bunch of the Ironborn in uh, the the Godswood. So it's hard to say. Miss Colonel has a sneaking suspicion that Bran is not telling the whole truth. He either wants to get captured or has seen the catastrophe of Winterfell as a necessary sacrifice for the Night King's ultimate defeat. Yeah.
Peter Griffin says, the Weir, already told Theon what's going to happen and he won't reject. What's up, Peter Griffin? Y'all are great in the chat. We're going to have a little The Imagination Realm break here. I'm going to be presenting this to everyone. We'll go through a little bit of the news. Thank you so much, The Imagination Realm, for hooking me up with this. So, you can go and see what I'm doing, because this site's all about me. I'm just kidding. So definitely go check out theimaginationrealm.com. We are going to be reading her little blog, which is I found very entertaining today. It's kind of what is Imagination Realm, and I figured I should let y'all know what is the Imagination Realm. So if you don't mind, I would like to read this. Realm, do you mind? All right then, thanks. About me. I'm a data analyst with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology because numbers and minds are awesome. I agree. My son is soon to be offered college to major in animation because he got his creativity from me. Grease is my favorite movie, and my bunny's name is Jon Snow Bunny because Game of Thrones is the best TV show ever made. The 80s rock, mythology is life, and the Thundercats will forever be cool. Thundercats! Oh! Music genre, 1993 to 2001. And you can see all that. Ooh, love some dance hall. And we'll get into how she started watching Game of Thrones. Family members were watching and talking about it in a group chat, and I decided to check it out. I started watching during the off season after season 4, right after the beginning of season 5, so I had to binge to get caught up and watch season 5 live. Since then, I've watched seasons 1 through 7 at least 10 times in its entirety and can't shut up about it. Same here. My favorite part of GOT, besides all of it, the use of real history in a fantasy show is amazing. I love videos that compare GOT to historic figures and sometimes the blending of those figures, places, and events. The show has done a really great job of character development that elicits real emotion, such as tears when a character dies or heated debate over the goodness of a fictional character. The show is great to rewatch and discover new things and develop new perspectives every watch. It took me 7 times to develop an appreciation and understanding of Theon Greyjoy, and now I root for him. I would say congratulations to Imagination Realm. Theon, yeah, he is tough to like. She is primarily a shower, not a shower, not a grower. I mean, I am primarily a shower. I have all the books hard copy as well as the audio books along with the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Put you on shame, the Imagination Realm. You better hurry up and read those books. I'm kidding. You know plenty enough. Enjoy them at your leisure. But I won't read every single thing because I want you to definitely go check this out. But I wanted to give you a taste. She has, I love her writing style. It really engages you, and and it keeps you reading. I know you got a an article, so I'll let you go ahead and
Yeah.
present yours, and I'll get mine ready.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Um, there's a few. So which one did you want me to highlight? I'll just do this one because he's kind of prevalent still. But then I have an additional one. That's this one that I'm sharing right now. Was in the Imagination Realms newsletter that highlights all of the stuff that Johnny's been doing. So I don't know if I can present it to everybody for some reason on here.
Oh, I got it presented to everyone right now.
Okay. So this is the Brian Cogman Game of Thrones spin-off has been killed off to of HBO. So basically, Brian Cogman, who was the writer of the last episode, 802, was promised the ability to have his own spin-off, but they have now, as said by Sci-Fi, Cogman let it be known that the dreams of his particular spin-off have gone up in a spout of dragon fire. Says my prequel show will not be happening and will not happen. HBO have decided to go in a different direction. Instead of staying in Westeros, Cogman will shift over to Amazon and help them out as part of an exclusive deal. Says he's done with Westeros, but it's wonderfully bittersweet. He'll miss the characters and all the people that's been involved. But Brian Cogman has written quite a few episodes who'll be missed in the world of Ice and Fire. During his tenure as a writer for the series, he wrote memorable episodes including Kissed by Fire, The Laws of Gods and Men, and I believe Blood of My Blood and Hold the Door, I believe, were the 2 episodes that he wrote for season 6. But yeah, Brian Cogman will not be involved in the prequel, and he won't even have his own prequel, which would have been awesome because, based off of the reaction of everybody from or not everybody, predominantly from a lot of the fan base. They really loved last week's episode, or technically last week's episode because it was of how good it was, and those other episodes were pretty awesome too.
Hey, Catherine Bassett. No worries, Deborah Breedlove. I hope HBO doesn't dump all the prequels. I hope we at least get Empire of Ash and The Long Night. But is this one supposed to be? Which one is it? No, The Long Night's got canceled. I hope we get Empire of Ash and the other one.
No, The
Yeah.
Long Night is still in development. That's the one that's supposed to
Okay.
be
The Long Night
filmed.
and Empire of Ash. I'm sorry.
I think it's the Doom of Valyria. That whole prequel, that one was axed way in the beginning. The one where it's all about the Targaryens. I think that one was.
That one got axed. I thought it came back. Empire of Ash.
I
I
thought
don't
that
know. That
one.
can be fantastic. It's basically Rome with dragons.
I can't
I want to see
remember.
that.
They like to flip flop, but um, the other article that I just found that this was kind of apropos because everybody's been talking about Arya and her kind of sexual scene on the show is also did you get that one? Let's see. Podrick, aka Daniel Portman, is still getting in trouble.
Poor Podrick.
He's getting in trouble with the women for the right reasons, I guess you could say, kind of, because they're all apparently still come up to him and try and grope him and being like, "Are you good?" Basically, like Podrick, like it says here. Portman, who played Podrick Payne in the popular HBO series, told Esquire he's been grabbed by so many women who watched the episode that led Daniel Portman's character to be dubbed as a sex god. I've been grabbed by so many, like the amount of older women who are very old. Portman told the magazine as making a hand gesture of the groping. So poor Podrick gets groped by a lot of.
I guess there could be worse things.
But
Did you come back?
then there's also that double standard, right? If a girl was groped by the same amount of people as like men, as he probably assumingly was, it would be a completely different story. But because it's a male actor being groped by a lot of females, it's a bit.
Tila says that's so rude. Who does that? Apparently, cougars.
It says the appropriate touching by strangers since the episode is not cool. You obviously don't tell them not to touch you. He said it hasn't happened for a while, but that he feels like a lot of people still have that disassociation between him and the character, and I've seen that quite a bit, and especially when the press calls for Amelia. When she's walking through on red carpets, they don't call her Amelia Clark or even Daenerys. They just yell Khaleesi at her the entire time, which, hey, it's cool because a lot of the media like Game of Thrones, but the fact that they don't actually call her by her real name is a little bit just like disheartening. But the last one that I wanted to show, which I just found, Imagination Realm hasn't talked about it on her site yet, but I feel like she might. Is an article, about ghosts. And it's just basically thanks to Canada and where they filmed the ghost scene. This is why we have ghosts in the show, pretty much. And that they film all of the ghost and direwolf scenes in Calgary at
Hey, look, there's the actual ghost, and it didn't even make him bigger. He's just exactly that size. If you look in that last episode, that's as big as Ghost is. He's standing on a milk crate.
there you go, let's go. There's go. But it says the direwolf brothers and sisters who have severely diminished over the number of seasons, as well as ghost screen time, is being chopped up. But yeah, so in the credits, I didn't even notice this because I didn't watch all of the credits, obviously, because it's very boring. But they did have a Calgary unit, which, hey, is pretty awesome. So because they filmed in Calgary at some point, does that mean that Arya Nymeria's wolf pack will show up, and I guess we can
Look,
kind of talk about
okay,
Ghost. And I guess
let's talk about it. Let me get you off taking over
okay.
my channel. I'm just being an ass. No, we got to get the wolf pack, right? We need to at least have a nod. Now, I would say we've already supposed to get Ghost by now, and my lips are gonna pucker up, and I'm gonna get angry just talking about this. But give us Ghost, give us Nymeria, give us the 100+ wolf pack, maybe even up to 1,000. I want a ton of wool in the show. It looks like it might be 50 or 100. I don't know. I don't care. Give me something. Nymeria needs to be free, even if she has to die, which all dire wolves are going to be extinct at some point. I do have this thing where we're going to have possibly some hybrid puppies
Mm-hmm.
in the books, but that's just kind of my hope. We're not getting that in the show, but I think we'll have some hybrid wolf dire wolf puppies, which would make sense. I don't know if they would be fertile afterwards, but we have to get Nymeria coming in and saving Arya. Like that's the whole thing. But animals instinctively aren't going to run toward that battle. Instinctively, they're going to run away, and they are all about survival. Arya's connection with Nymeria has been severed in the show, and it's one horrible thing I hate about the show, is that disconnect. They could at least give her um, she should have thousands of wolves, right? She only has. It didn't seem like that many in the show. I don't know. It's almost untold numbers in the books. It definitely probably is up thousands, and it goes back to Nymeria, leading the Rhoynar from escaping the Valyrians. You know, coming all the way to Dorne. That's why you have the sandy Dornish, the salty Dornish, and the mountain Dornish. You know, and great comment, Girl Nettles.
Mm-hmm.
And she, that's one way that Arya can get saved. Now, a white Nymeria, would Arya run from that? Hmm. That would be something that Arya is super scared of. Even though, you
Yeah.
know, what people see is a human type figure back there, but I don't stare at it that much because I'm not trying to spoil myself. And of course, I know that things can, you know, you can have matrixing and stuff in there.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Says sorry, JBC. I think D&D enjoy pissing off fans who want to see something. Probably why Ghost got smaller. Kind of an fu. Yeah, exactly. I
So
don't.
no
I
people.
think we will get a cheesy Clegane bowl just to spite us. We'll get a cheesy.
Yeah.
No, we. Ah, I
The
don't think we'll
Clegane
get a
Bowl
Clegane bowl
wavers
like we think.
every single episode. It's like, yeah, I enjoy Clegane Bowl, but they we have to figure out what the ghost's job, quote unquote, next episode. Um, it was in 702 when John before John leaves. This was supposed to happen in the show before John leaves in 702. After he comes out of the crypts with Baelish, he was supposed to kneel down and talk to Ghost and be like, "You have to protect Sansa." This was apparently it was a scene that was written in, so I could see how they kind of write off Ghost, or at least they keep him away from the camera for a while. Is that Ghost is in the crypts somewhere, uh, maybe standing guard for the door that leads to like a specific spot where they're sitting with the crypts. Um, yeah, there'll be something of like he'll have to be one of the because they haven't really armed the crypts at all with like anybody, not even like a couple guards. They didn't even give the crypts. So the fact that they may just do that and kind of have that payoff scene, because I know Justin Thomas has said that the most expensive part of the direwolves is the rendering for their fur. But if they do ghosts like that, does it really matter? They can just literally have had ghosts just sit down in the corner. But
Okay.
that,
I think it's gonna be minuscule what we see of Ghost. I think they're putting everything into the dragons, everything into the Night King. Deborah Breedlove. Ding, ding, ding. The tinfoil theory of the day. Let me read this out because This is interesting. It may not happen at all, but damn if I don't like the fantasy aspect of it. Arya in that scene was a faceless woman, just slept with a man with king's blood that can produce a smoke baby, and the Night King dies like Renly. That would be the craziest shit ever, but I do not want to see Arya give birth to a smoke baby. That would traumatize me. But my goodness, I love that tinfoil. That is awesome. Um,
Oh my
they
god.
They did have a lot of dialogue about the red woman, but they do, they both kind of harp on her. Arya, took and Gendry's never gonna forget the red woman. She was his first, and she sucked the blood out of him, literally, with leeches.
Julianne, they can't just enlarge and ghost digitally. It doesn't work like that,
Bubba
apparently.
says, licking himself in the corner.
They can't enlarge and ghost because it messes with the fur or whatever. If you go, I know we've talked about this before, but if you go to season 6 deleted scenes, it's one where Dolores Ed is talking to Thorne before the meeting in the Great Hall. And you can see that they make Ghost have this massive gray like stroke around him uh, for when he's like inputted into a scene. That's it's like, come on. But yeah, so they kind of maybe did that, but they just did it black, and then that's why he's stuck in the corner, so it's not as noticeable when they climb out when they're sitting on the battlements of Winterfell. But I'm just
Lyanna Mormont, yeah, she's primed to die. I don't, you know what? I think Jorah could save her. But given he's like the first person in line to fight the Night King with a sword he can't lift above his head,
two-handed
that's an
sword.
issue. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being an ass. Jorah in the books especially is a strong son of a bitch. And here I think Heartsbane's pretty cool for him to have, but I do think
It's a
Lyanna's
two-handed.
kind of set up to die, but I think we're gonna see her fight and be pretty badass and be surprised by what we see because she completely just told Jorah what for, and I'm fighting. I don't really care. She did, I dug it. I thought the actor may not have shown enough fear in that instance, but she is a child. And this is a child, and as a child, you either have a lot of confidence or you're scared all the time for the most part, right? So she has that confidence. She's a leader. Deborah Breedlove. Let me see what you got here. Maybe it's not Arya. Maybe it was the waif just in that scene. Arya was a misdirect. Arya was a polishing needle while the stand-in wife sleeps with Gendry. Holy. I, whew. The tenfold is awesome. Hold on.
The one thing that you're talking about with Lyanna is if Lyanna Mormont dies, right?
Um,
You know how John has sort of kind of not an affection, but he kind of has and not really an attachment, but he just has those feelings kind of for someone, especially a person like Lyanna Mormont. If he was to have noticed that she's either dead or sees her die, how would that kind of like affect him? Is kind of my thing. Because yes, he didn't really weep for Ned Umber, but because Lyanna's named after his mother, Lyanna Mormont told every single adult male in the room in 610 to basically shut the hell up and name John King, and all of these other things. So the death of Lyanna Mormont, as much as people like Felicia don't want her to die, I feel like it'll emotionally affect John much more than we're kind of expecting, because this little girl has praised him so much and is named after his mother. Um, uh, and the fact that she's just willing to go and fight in his war, quote unquote, as Danny likes to call it, John's war, even though it's both of their wars, um, will be a little devastating. But
yeah, that's a good point. We got some funny. Well, not Tamara Magdalene. Danny wants the Seven Kingdoms like Thanos wants the Infinity Stones. Everybody's seeing Avengers Infinity Endgame right now. Um,
there are some
let's see.
kind of comments, yeah, about the waif. Jor gets friend zoned by his little cousin. Yeah. What? Oh, there were some comments a bit earlier by Carrie Neve who said Sansa and Jon Royce seem like they're up to something. Arya seems like she has a plan she hasn't shared, and Tyrion is up to something. Yes, Tyrion and Bran having a stare off in the first episode. What is that for? Um, as well as what is Bronze John Royce doing and being like kind of Sansa's master of whisperers all of a sudden? Because he comes into the room, talks to Sansa privately, and then leaves. So like, what is that for? And
And then
hey,
he sticks
Odila,
his nose up in front of Danny. And puffs his chest out and walks by Danny. Bron John just killing it. He's supposed to be this badass fighter. In the books, he beats the hell out of Roderick and who's the other person? He beats the hell out of two people at the same time while practicing in the yard. They've killed that for a decent actor here, I guess. But um, yeah, the Knights of the Vale, right? We see Brienne's lined up with the knight in front of the Knights of the Vale. Uh, coming up next episode. So they're in the front lines. They're in the
they're not
vanguard.
really mounted though, are they? They're not mounted.
Hold on, I'm back now. So they have to have some mounts. I dropped for a second. I apologize. They have to have mounts, but a lot of them will still be on foot. I think it's going to be hard for them to have kept all those horses alive, but we're going to have probably, what is that, 1,000 to 2,000 mounted lances? Is that what they
Yeah,
said? Maybe 2,000. So it's not as many as you would want, and the Night King has
as
many and
many.
more than that, like as many as you can really possibly want in this scenario. So it's
Roger.
gonna really be tough. They're gonna have to use a last stand, kind of like the Unsullied did in front of, was it Astapor? Yeah, the last stand they made against the 20,000 horde of the 20,000 Dothraki that the 2,000 Unsullied basically defeated in a sense, or at least
Yeah,
yeah, they defeated them. They killed the Khal and the Khos and his sons, and that was where the Unsullied gained their reputation. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that, right? We're going to see them maybe in a V4 formation. They're going to stand their ground, and Unsullied, it's going to be devastation, but they're going to get more. For every man they have out there, man or woman they have out there, they're going to, it's like 10, 10 to 1, right? They can kill 10 for every one the Night Kings probably can kill.
and same thing with the Mormonts of Bear Island. The Mormon, the fight for the strength of 10 mainlanders.
What'd you find, Fekari? I'm so confused.
I think Bubba Husky said that it was Bron, Jon Royce, Stomps, Roderick, and Ned.
Oh, Roderick and Ned. See, I was thinking it was Ned, but I was like, oh, I can't remember Ned doing that. But thank you, Bubba.
Yeah, and Otila. Hello, friend. She's in the chat as well. Yeah, like the fact that the Knights of the Vale aren't mounted and they're supposed to be the best fighters in the sleet and the snow. Most mounted knights for like any kind of temperature that Westeros can deal with is kind of a bit like, huh? But I can imagine Danny's like, give me some horses to feed Drogon and Viserion or Rhaegal. Give me some
That's a
horses.
good point, but they're not gonna give us enough time. They should have used that for real. Like with the dragons, I'm hungry. We need some of the horses. And John's like, no, we gotta fight a war. Well, my dragons can't go hungry. I could see my Khaleesi needs a dragons well. Anyways, go ahead.
That ate the livestock. Instead of killing off the small livestock, you can just kill the horses.
One
Done.
horse equals 4 goats. It might be
I
more than that. I'm just being an ass.
can't remember.
As usual, I'm having a great time here. Yeah, where did the Knight of the Vale sword? Honestly, I think they will have some horses, but we're gonna have more people that came from the Vale, because Sansa did ask them to bring every man, woman, and child they could of fighting age. So I think that's why we see a lot of them not on horses. Actually, you got more people from the Vale. The Knights of the Vale came at the Battle of the Bastards, but there's actually more able-bodied people that can fight. So I'm hoping that's it, that there's more people from the Vale. And maybe Sweet Robin will do a front flip and land on the front line.
It was a yeah. Figure I told you why she said found it in the chat. Steve York says dragons eating 18 horses a day, plus assuming horses being eaten in stew and dying of lack of food. I'm assuming only the Dothraki will be mounted.
Well, the Dothraki have to be mounted. They are no good on foot, especially in the books. They can, they're super bow-legged because they ride horses from 2-year-olds. As Fake Arya says, something that's too politically charged for me to say out loud. But that's funny, Fake Arya. Um,
Yeah,
they'd have to be mounted. Maybe you could see that, but it's gonna be them straight in the battle. And I kind of do agree with you. I think we're definitely gonna see King's Landing next episode. They have to build up that momentum there. Cersei can't just sit there and wait on them to come. She has to have some kind of strife and problems come her way. She's got to deal with Euron, and I think she's definitely gonna convince Euron that that baby is his. What's going to happen after that? I'm leaning more towards she is pregnant. Jamie says she's pregnant, even though we talk about how much of a liar she is. She can't be completely lying about everything, but I don't know. I keep going back and forth with that. But who gets wiped out first? The Dothraki, Unsullied, or the Vale? All at the same time, Miss Cronall. All at the
they
same time.
they all like have like at least half of the armies. Each of them get like wiped, or up to three-fourths are all wiped out. Um, but I'd assume the Dothraki, because how are they supposed to fight in the snow when they're like sand people? Like, did they
They can fight. They're just
but like in the training though, like what? They're half of them will slip on a piece of ice and just like crack their
no.
head.
Um, the horses should have shoes that fit, and if we've noticed, I mean, it makes sense that they would be clumsy and clunky, right? You make a great point, but I do think that it's not that much. There's not that much snow on the ground for a reason. We see like 2 inches of. It's the dead of winter, and there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. That
I know
really
more snow
bothers me.
than that. Yeah. As a person that's beyond the wall, that's not enough snow.
But Miss Cronall, yeah, I would say if I had to choose, definitely Dothraki. Especially if they don't have a horse, they are screwed. They're gonna wobble themselves to an early grave.
Yeah, they'll be at like Carsey or whatever that was in Hard Home.
That's a good point. So I made sand. If there's a storm during the battle, it'll make it worse for them. And the
It
Night
seems
King and
like
the others bring the storm. They bring
seems,
the storm. So that's a great point.
yeah, will Drogon actually be able to fly?
Don't understand. Yes, that's my house saying. No means no. No guy wants to be an Unsullied for obvious reasons. I choose Dothraki, but one that showers and has been taught no means no.
No means no.
But yes means yes in the books. I do wish they would have added that part in the show, but maybe you just need to make Danny more sympathetic character. I don't know.
I don't
Um,
know.
yeah,
I don't know.
Dothraki Whites will be insane. I can see cart flips and flaming aurochs. Um, blue
Flaming,
flame.
blue
You got to
flaming.
wonder what they put in that 1.5 foot inch, 1.5 foot inch, 1.5 foot deep, or half a meter deep trench that they dug with this trap door that is literally a fall into a black hole. I think they may break their ankles. What character is the safest? John has the biggest plot armor of all time. He's
Yeah,
already died. That's
John.
who else would you pick besides John?
John. I'd say Santa. Um, Santa has pretty good odds this episode. Sam has decent
I'm
odds. Sam, based off of the pool of dragons, Sam is like the highest person to live. So I'd say Sam as well.
It'll be Pitch, the Fearless Mermaid. They're gonna set it on fire, I'm sure, but there's no reason for them to have the little trap door or anything. Um, I think it was just I don't know where that came from. It was funny though. It's equivalent to us seeing the Brothers of the Night's Watch practice fighting in the background in like the first and second season, where they were just like, they look like Sweet Robin practicing. It's just a TV thing. Yeah, Phantom Dusane. I think Danny's definitely dying. Baby Sam, that's yet to
Kidnapped.
be known. I think if there is another Night King, Baby Sam will be it. John may or someone has to take that baby back to the lands of Always Winter, and there you have a new Night King growing up. I don't know. That's my tinfoil theory of the day.
Like they get the night. If they have to
Tyrion
just
has pretty thick plot armor, but it's there's been some foreshadowing. I've only used it once, Phantom Saint, that he's possibly going to die this season, and he actually guessed the ending of his own script. Peter Dinklage did, and that really makes me think he guessed how he was going to die.
and he got it
Uh,
right. I think that's what it said.
yeah,
It's
he
like
got it
he
right. So that makes me think he's going to die. No way, Jose. I don't. There is no Jose in Game of Thrones. Don't know what you're talking about, fake Arya. Baby Sam,
how
Hornblower,
do you
Lord of
how do
Hornhill.
you know there could be a Jose in the
There
Dothraki?
could be. There could be a Jose Martel. No, I don't know. Honestly, I was just joking. It could be Josie also. Josie and the Pussycats. Anybody ever seen that show? Hashtag Team Night. Will Braun show up? He will show up. We actually see Jamie shouting, Braun! And then I think he's going to try to kill someone, just not Jamie or Tyrion.
Yeah,
Maybe the Dragon Queen, or even try to kill a dragon again. What if a dragon gets killed when they're not even paying attention? But in all likelihood, Braun's going to fight with them, and then afterwards, he's going to make his move. If he lives during the fight, which I think he will, he'll make his move. Yeah, the Night King's name may be Jose. Hashtag Jose Martel.
hashtag Jose of Hornhill. Hashtag now Dordestan wants a Jose Martel.
Ooh, Katrina Torres has a really good question. Okay, what plans do you think Cersei has for Danny, Mackenzie? And we're gonna have one more question after this, and then we'll have to wrap up. I know there's lots of great people coming on today.
Plans for Danny. She's what did she say to the mountain? It's to kill Tyrion. Or is it to kill Danny, Tyrion, then John, and then whoever was left. So she wants to kill Danny some way somehow. Um, let's see. She probably just is like either wants to have her shot down or get her close to King's Landing and then blow up, so Danny doesn't get what she wants in the end. It's like blow up King's Landing or something. I don't know.
Finding out a lot I didn't know about Jose Martel. I mean, it's very interesting. I'm gonna have to do a quickie of Ice and Fire on Jose Martel. If one of y'all want to hit me up and work with me on the script for that, let me know because I think that will be damn hilarious.
It's Gendry, Danny McKay. Jose Martel.
Oh, Jose Sand. Sorry, Attila.
Jose Sand. Jose Martel. But yeah, I feel like Danny's Cersei wants to just blow Danny up or just give Danny no opportunity to rule King's Landing.
Yeah, I
She's
think
never to hatch more eggs.
I think she wants to torture her, and possibly, does she have thoughts of keeping her alive and controlling the dragons the same way that Pyat Pri wanted to do? Keep the mother alive and torture her into giving these dragons command and obeying Cersei.
I did kind
That's
of use that Cersei's kind of a pre in my Danny House of the Undying video, where it was kind of that Danny was being metaphorically chained to John and the dragons, and then he had to she basically, when she blows up, or when the dragons set Pri on fire, it's when the chains break away. So it's a possibility that she'll want to kind of be like Pri, and that she could be the one to kind of torture Danny, but I don't see it. She said that she just wants to kill Danny anytime she wants. Jose Martel for
we
the
gotta
Iron.
keep Jose Martel going because that's about as original as it gets and as simple as it gets when it comes to something hilarious. So,
He's the new
just
Vagon. That's
fake out.
Jose Martel is the new Vagon.
Oh my goodness. I am the dragon's daughter. No, don't understand. That's hilarious. Use the spicy foods to conquer his foes. Oh my god. I love spicy food. I just ate
This
some
and then
spicy chicken ever.
distracts them with mariachi bands.
Yes, the most interesting man in Westeros. I do not always drink Danish Red, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Um, okay, so last question. Miss Cronall, you get the last one because it just timed out right. What if Bran has seen that adding the Winterfell troops to the army of the dead is the only way to take out Cersei, the throne, and break the wheel / cycle they are trapped in? Ooh.
Well, because Brand, I don't think, told the whole truth, so I could totally see that. I don't think Brand told us the whole truth about what's going on.
No way, it's too simple. Yeah, I'm sure the Night King wants to erase the memory of the children of the forest. Uh, you know, if they erase Bran, they don't erase all of mankind. Everyone in Essos is fine. Everyone south of the line, south of Sunspear is fine, unless they're going by the Night King's going to take over the whole planet, which I don't see that. So I think Bran is keeping it simple, stupid, and he's basically putting them where he wants them. He's arranging chess pieces, and what he tells them gives them the exact motivation that I think they're going to need. If it gets too complicated, he doesn't need to tell them that he has to go into the weirwood net or that he has to try to go into someone's mind, or if he has to, go into the weirwood and figure out what he's going to have to do. We may even see some weird past type stuff, and some future scenarios here, because we know he's going to sit right there in front of the Godswood, and I guarantee you, uh, I feel like he's strong enough where he doesn't need them, right? Like the three-eyed raven told him they would be. But if he touches it, I think that's going to give him a lot more strength to kind of go straight there, kind of how he touched the root and went straight to the Night King uh, back in season 4. So you oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the Brand. Yeah, Brand's not telling the about about next episode, especially too when he told Jamie, "How do you know that there is an afterwards?" Right? Like he told Jamie, "How do you know that there's an afterwards?" May not be specifically an afterwards for Jamie himself, because Bran knows stuff. Bran knows a lot of things that he's not telling us. We know that he has still some limitations when it comes to what he can see. But if he's looking in the right places, he may see stuff into the future as well. Like if he wants to see what Jamie's future is like, but it doesn't show him anything, he may just think that Jamie dies. Same thing with other characters.
Well, there's no, yeah,
Maybe
like you said, I think that's definitely foreshadowing for Jamie dying. I think he as well with last episode and whatever he's going to do for Bran, whether it be ultimately save Bran's life to make up for trying to kill him or killing Bran himself, we don't know yet, really. We're being told what Bran is just telling us, and Katrin C, from my point of view, makes a great point. Benjen told Bran, you will be ready. And he will be, and I think it's going to be right at the last moment. Bran's still going to be trying to get ready, in my opinion, right before it happens, because that's seemingly how this has worked out. But that's, it could Jose Martel for the throne. That will be our last question we take for today. I do want y'all to check out MackenzieLBurns. So go ahead and plug yourself, my friend, and then I will let everybody know what's going on the channel and stuff in the future here.
okay, my friend. So, you can find me here on Johnny's channel. I don't know if I'm on for Monday. I'm not sure. But you'll find me in the chat, or you can find me on my channel on Wednesday night, where we'll be talking this episode with Septishana Secrets. They will be joining with us for that episode. As well, I will be putting out my reaction to said episode. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I'll probably be crying half the time. So you'll get to see a redhead actually cry and evoke some real emotions coming on my channel soon. But you can also find me on Cylon Johns. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, my Facebook page. You can find me in Geek Chat 1 and if you are so kind, you can also support me on Patreon, which now I have. My members of my Patreon are Bobby Catalano, Catherine Harding, Juanita Bryant, and Nancy T. Um, it's pretty good stuff that you get within the tiers. You get advanced viewing of my videos. We'll do some special live streams. You'll get to choose a special topic for the streams that'll be on my channel, so on and so forth. It's a good time, and I can't wait to talk about this episode again. This episode again. We haven't even talked about it yet. We can't wait to talk about this episode multiple times and in the future.
Is anybody like I'm gonna leave y'all too with this. You got to check out MackenzieLBurns. We have such a fun time on episode club, so definitely check out. Become a crazy companion today. Uh, that's my Patreon. So many things going on right now for the insane elites. You know, I have a $2 and $5 tier. I don't go crazy with it, even though I am insane. I'll be doing a fantasy genre movie review, and if y'all want to pick, but we had Katrin C pick the genre this week, so that will be out in about a week, and I'll let y'all know what movie it is. Let me give a shout out to my patrons because y'all are fantastic and don't know how much this means to me. This is awesome. Everything I get is going to go back into making this show better for you guys. So, Amy True, Anime Lover Nicole, Bobby Catalano, Catherine Cronin, Miss Cronall, Catherine Harding, Clarissa Thompson, Dornish Dan Campbell, John, John of House Petrie, called Saint Baptiste, the maker of cocktails, Dark Mother, Katrin C, from her point of view, and I think that's it. No, and Nancy T, my newest member. So thank you so much, Nancy T. And definitely go check out the Imagination Realms Patreon. And everybody, just everybody love everybody, right?
Push all the buttons.
Push all those buttons down below, and I love you, my friends. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Give you a John St. Baptiste smooch, and we will see you on the next Nooners of Ice and Fire.